Okay, Roger, Mudfossil University, again today talking about the Rosetta mission, which has concluded by the European Space Agency along with NASA. And they went out and landed on this comet with the Philae lander. And they took actually samples and looked at them. And I know what this comet is because I watched this whole thing and I fully 100% understand it, which they fully 100% do not. That, my friend, is biological. Now, they know that. I'm just going to cut down to the chase. There's a lot of sort of unrealistic things talked about here. Now, what are we saying? According to the study, organic molecules, which are carbon-based molecules like proteins, carbohydrates, and nucleic acids, account for 45% of the total mass of all the collected dust from Comet 67P. Now, what did they find? The team found the remaining 55% of the dust is in the form of inorganic minerals, mostly silicates. This is the gooey stuff of life. This is the structure of life. Simple as that. Now, it's the number of molecules, and then there's weights. The minerals are much heavier, so they account for 55% of the weight, or whatever it is, 55%. The organic stuff, the gooey stuff, accounts for 45%. They even put it in red like it's blood. Now, over here, the molecules are the water and the oxygen are balanced. Hydrogen, oxygen, well, they're not actually balanced, but hydrogen is blown off a lot more. But anyway, this is the structure of life. Magnesium, ferrous, iron, silicon, other minerals, hydrogen, oxygen, that's water, H2O, carbon. That is us. Now, listen a little further. I'm not going to drag this out forever. Well, maybe I will. This research may also have implications for the origins of life here on Earth. Yes, absolutely it does. Okay, this is Comet 67P. This goes back a few years. I was studying all the way up through the Rosetta mission. From the time they noticed it, I realized what it was. It's a tendon enthesis. I have one here, the identical same thing, and of course mine's smaller. That is enormous, and it is in outer space. It's Comet 67P, and I will play what I did back then. It's called Comet 67P, Mysterious Features Discussed, Life. And this is it right here. Okay, now I'm going to just stop and I want to stop. Light on this. Now I just showed you what you have there. Now, let me get this down. Don't forget that structure there. You see the stalk with the little holes in it? That's where the blood fed it. That's an abrupt transition. This can be seen. That's the one on mine, and this is the ball underneath. I hope it stops correctly and you can see. Because that has the same thing. That flat spot. Now, as I wrote, you see, that's the ball right under there. That is the same thing as on 67P. It's identical, of course. It's still placed in the matrix of this gigantic finger, although the stalk tip breaks off at the abrupt transition. This was blistered coming through the atmosphere, I believe it is, from outer space, just as that is. Oops, let me just do this with my finger. You can see these. You see, look at the little fluty things. Identical, same structures coming down. It's the same thing. You see it? It's the same. Now, you're going to have to come up here and look at this. Plus, you can see, I have the other thing here. Do I show it here? I think it's in the other video where I show the abrupt transitions. Oh, no, it's in here. All right, see that's an abrupt transition right there. That's going into the flesh. Let me just play this for a minute. I don't know where I am. Oh, I got to go back earlier because up here it starts. There it is. That's the tendon stalks. You see that? That's the abrupt transition. That is the glue. Tyson is doing a great job. Tyson and Scott Wiles. They're out in Oregon, and they're digging through this kind of stuff. I got a feeling of a gigantic times a billion gigantic creature. No, and they're in this because it's just real gooey. I'm just going to play it, and I'll just be quiet. Later. No, you see these things? This is vascular stuff. That's blood. That's where the blood is servicing these things. Now I'm going to go a little further up, and you're going to see what happens now. It says, okay, what are we going to do from the tendons? We have to make a transition into the muscle. And here comes the muscle. Isn't that something? And so you can have another sort of, and here comes the muscle fiber. That's black and white, or, you know, it's brown and white or whatever color it is, but that's muscle fiber. Now, Now, you see the white inclusions in here? That's mineral. This gives it some really structure in this area, and then that goes away and you end up with the just red muscle. Home in on this a little better if I can. Now, you still see minerals in there and things, but it takes on this band of fibers, and they weave into each other, and they still get service with blood here and then it goes off that way, and it broke off on this end too. But this is the identical. You see these things here? This is the identical. All right, I'm not going to bother going any further, but that's it. Blood services here and there. You don't see that a lot. You see these in certain areas. Now, I don't know how the vascular network works through there, but it's not like they're just completely consistent. I haven't figured that out yet. I didn't, but anyway, that's what you got.